All right, congratulations. You made it to a very important section, and that is just running the business in general. I'm going to look at my notes to go over all the things that we're going to be going about in this section. This video particularly, we're going to be talking about whether you're going to be a business owner, self-employed, or a hybrid of both. We're going to get all into that on this particular video. We're going to talk about how to write estimates, not on this one, but in the future videos. We're talking a little bit about measuring a roof. I talked about this before on using aerial measurements, so that won't be very long on that one because I think we've talked about it enough. We're going to be talking about insurance work, bid work, negotiated work, billing customers and cash collection, cash flow, paying suppliers and bills, credit cards, lines of credit, overhead, and then finally paying yourself. We're going to talk all about this in this next part, talking about running your business. Now, this particular video, again, we're going to be talking about being a business owner, being self-employed, or being a hybrid. Okay, I think it's very, very, very important that you guys pay attention to this because I think this is one of the things that people get the most wrong when they start their companies. You need to figure out what you're going to be. Are you going to be a business owner? Are you going to be self-employed? Or are you going to be a hybrid? Because there is a difference in all of them. Okay, so what is a business owner? Everybody that starts a business wants to call themselves a business owner. Well, when I hear business owner, what a business owner to me is someone who starts a business and then they hire people. They hire sales staff, they hire production staff, they hire an office staff, and their employees are the ones who generate profits, generate revenues for the profits, and then the business owner, all they do is manage those employees, but they're not actually out doing any work. They're not out swinging a hammer. They're not out selling the job themselves. They're not in there doing QuickBooks. All they are managing a group of people that are generating revenue to equal profits. That's what a true business owner is. So they're the person behind the curtain. They're the ones pulling the string, making all this happen, hiring the people in, getting the sales team in, making sure that everything's happening, making sure all the work's getting done. Typically, people who are business owners have been in business for a long time and they've been able to hire those people in because they started off doing the work themselves, or there's somebody that started the business originally with a large sum of money or a loan. There's nothing wrong with getting a business loan to start a business. That's not necessarily how I'm teaching you guys how to start a business. I believe in what's called bootstrapping, which is what we're going to talk about when we talk about being self-employed or a hybrid. But a business owner is typically someone who has a larger sum of money or they inherited a company that started and they're not doing any of the actual work themselves. All they are managing the people and the assets of the business. So I hope that makes sense. I think it will when I talk about the next thing, which is being self-employed. Now, being self-employed is totally different. Being self-employed means you don't have any people who work for you. You work for yourself. You're out knocking the doors. You're out there signing the deals. You're the one out there. Maybe you get a sub crew to come in and do some of the work for you. But if you do have any help, it's just a few subcontractors here or there. But the main focus of your business is you. You're the selling point. Whether you're a business owner, you're selling TRT roofing. When you're a business owner, you still can be TRT roofing, but the main source of your business is you. The business owner can not be there physically or not be out in the field or not calling the subcontracting crew, and he or she's still going to make money. Versus if you being self-employed, you are the engine behind the business. Without you working, your company's not making any money. So if you take off for the winter and you don't want to work December, January, and February, your company's not going to be making any money. Versus running a business, maybe you take off or manage from remote 3 months and the company's still running, but you're not directly involved in that, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with being self-employed. There's nothing wrong with you going out, finding jobs, signing deals. Maybe you're doing the roofing yourself with a couple other people. Maybe you're hiring a sub crew to do it. The point is that you're the cog of the work. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I know a lot of people who are just super happy leaving their regular office jobs in the cubicles to run their own business. And man, they go out and they do repair work with the hammer and they're working their business and they work 6 months a year, they take off 6 months, they work 9 months a year, they take off 3, they work 12 months, whatever your goals are for your business. The point is you have full control because you're the one doing the work. Now we'll talk about some negatives and some positives of doing each one before I talk about what a hybrid company is. Okay, so the positives of being a business owner is, well, you're just getting to kind of manage everyone. You're getting to ride around in the truck. You're getting to, sip the coffee in the morning. You run your own schedule. You get to do all that stuff. The negative part of that is your revenue and your profits are based on other people. Since you're not doing any of the work yourself, you're having to hope that the people you recruited and hired into your company is doing what you needed them to do. The managers you hired are following all of the instructions for your company, the values, your mission statement, all those things. And they're the ones who's making you your money. It's all on them. It's all on your employees. It's your ability to manage other people doing things. And I'm telling you, for some people, it's hard managing other people. And sometimes the best company is one without a whole lot of employees. Okay. Tim Ferriss talks about that in the law of 4-hour work week. I'm not suggesting in a roofing company that's possible because it's a little bit different for us, but hiring and managing employees sometimes can be a pain in the ass. And I'll go ahead and tell you, we've had a lot of success and a lot of bad luck with that. Okay. So, and it's also going to take you sometimes 5 to 10 years before you can really start paying yourself a reasonable amount of money if you're a business owner. Again, unless you inherited a company. Now, if you went out and took a business loan out, let's say you took out a $200,000 business loan or $1 million business loan to hire all these people, build this staff. I mean, it could be 5 or 10 years because you got to pay all these people, right? You got to bring in enough revenue, and then you got to make the profits happen. You've got to, do all this, all this stuff in the back end to start making money, and then you still got to pay the loans off, and then you got to put money in the bank too to make sure you have capital, and just in case you hit on some hard times, you can still pay your employees or lay them off. And guess what? You're the last person down the line to get paid. Okay, that's just how it is most of the time. Because if your business goes under, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, we're going to let you keep all this. No, even if you file Chapter 7, you're probably going to have to pay some of that money back. Okay, so just so you know, business owner, it's great, but it's going to take a really long time for you to get paid most of the time. But if you're wanting to build a company to sell, that's what you're wanting to build. You're wanting to build a company to sell. You have to sell as a business owner, because if you try to sell as self-employed, nobody's going to buy you because you're the person making the business. Okay? All right. So self-employed. Again, you're the person who's in charge of doing everything. So the great thing about being self-employed is you can start putting money in your pocket like right away. Like while this one person may wait 5 to 10 years to really start making a reasonable salary and getting good bonuses and solid profits and stuff like that, hell, you can start making money tomorrow as soon as you start the business. If you're the one out there doing all the work, you know what your overhead's going to be. It's going to be far less than somebody like this because you're not paying for all these people. You may just start off with you going out doing door knocking, you doing repair work, you doing some replacements every now and then. Maybe you hire a couple of subcontracting crews to help you whenever you need a job to be done. It's big, like a full. Maybe you do all the repair work and they do the replacement, and then you know what your expenses are going to be, and there's going to be very little. Maybe you have a CRM system, maybe you don't. You don't necessarily need office space. Maybe you just bought business cards and have a website and nothing else. There's nothing wrong with doing that. That is talking about low overhead, high profits, and you're going to be a direct result of and driver of how much money you're going to make. The harder you work, the more hours you work, the more money you're going to make. If you decide to work 6 months a year or 9 months a year, that's going to be up to you. So you have full control of your schedule in terms of how much you work versus when you're a business owner. Yes, you have full control and you can be gone and stuff like that, but you still have people to manage. You still have managers and stuff like that. They may have to report to you. Doing this, if you feel like shutting down your business for 3 months during the winter and not doing anything, you can do it. A lot of people do that. It's in the roofing industry. You also see it in landscaping as well. You see a lot of people that work 6 months during the summer and then they'll just not work for 6 months. So that's a really cool option that you have as being self-employed. Some of the negatives is you're the one doing all the work. So if you hate doing sales, if you hate doing repair work, if you hate running the admin side of things, if you hate doing the billing, if you hate trying to collect checks from customers, all that stuff, then you may want to start looking at what we're going to talk about next, which is a hybrid system, or working towards being a true business owner. But again, being paid right away and having full control of your schedule, guys, I mean, that's a great luxury to have. We didn't decide to build our company that way. Right now, we are in the hybrid situation. We did kind of start off, I guess, at the very, very, very beginning for the first few months as what you would call self-employed. We quickly moved over to a hybrid system, and we're building towards being a full business owner in the future. But I just want to make you aware there is a difference between the two. A self-employed just means you're not going to have any other employees. Again, maybe some subcontractors time to time, intermittent work that you're having to hire for, but you're not going to have anybody helping you full time. Which brings me to my last one, hybrid system. What is a hybrid company? Well, hybrid is kind of a combination of both, okay? So I'll give you my company structure, for instance. So right now we have myself and my business partner up here, okay? We have two people that are what we call project managers for us. What these guys do is they help manage and get jobs, okay? Right now we have 0 site managers, so either they have to go manage a project or we have to go manage a project. So the owners will move down into site manager. Over time, it's going to be us two, and there's going to be 2 or 3 of these project managers that help us find and win projects for their specific field. And then, because we're a general contracting company, not just roofing now, and then we go down and we're going to have a couple people that actually go out and manage the projects because we do commercial and government work now. Okay, and on the admin side, the goal is eventually we're going to have a full acquisition and office manager. Right now we have somebody filling that role and they're doing a great job for us, but we're going to want to hire someone specifically in that role, and then they're going to have 2 or 3 admin assistants. So right now my partner and I move into each role individually, okay? If we need a site manager and we don't have anybody to go out there to do it, guess what? I go. If we need some paperwork done and we don't have anyone to do it, or we need some documents edited or whatever, sometimes that's me. Sometimes my business partner has to go in and do some really basic, admin work that's clerical that he should not be doing, but that's part of being a hybrid company, is the owners are still filling in positions that they should have employees for, but they don't. And I'll tell you, majority of roofing companies are hybrid companies. The owners are still out selling deals every now and then, or they're having to act as a production manager. They've got a few salespeople. The point is that most companies are in a hybrid way. I will tell you that over time, one of the things that will help you grow your business and scale is moving out of positions where you're going to be actually doing the work. So one of the things I see most roofing companies do wrong is a lot of people who start roofing companies are strong on sales. So what they'll do is they'll hire a sales staff, but if a really good lead comes in, they'll go out and close the deal because they know they're getting more profit from it. You have to work into the direction of you hire salespeople to run the leads, and you don't, and you manage those people until you have a sales manager, or you have some self-sufficient salespeople that don't need a sales manager and they take all the leads. But when you start going out and selling your own jobs still, you're taking time away from your business to go out and close those deals, even though you're making a little bit more profit. But at the end of the day, it's going to hurt you long term, particularly if you ever want to get to the business owner stage. And I would kind of consider this as like the mecca, because this is where you can sell your company, you could bring in more partners, you could go public with it, there's just a lot of options you can do when you get to this point. Now, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time, again, how to get here just yet in this video series, because you guys are just learning how to start a company. So what I really want you to focus on is more, unless you've got the money to do it, is just being self-employed and being a hybrid. Eventually, over time, you need to figure out what kind of business structure you want. The way ours is set up is we have very few employees and we go after large projects. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that a little bit later, kind of in our final thoughts on how I feel like you should structure your company. But the biggest thing is we go after big jobs and we only do a few projects a year, so I need less staff, low overhead to make the most amount of money possible. And then when we need to pop into these other roles, we can. I mean, even though we've been in business 5 years, that's a really low, like in the scheme of life, that's just a really low amount of time. Sometimes it takes companies 10, 20 years to really get things figured out. So I feel like we're already ahead of the power curve. And the biggest thing is just not going bankrupt. That's what you want to do. Is if you can make it after your second, third, fourth year and not being bankrupt, if you make it to year 5 or through year 5, you're good. Most likely now you're just trying to not screw up anything really, really badly. All right, I know I went a little long with that, but I think it's important you guys understand, and again, being a business owner, being self-employed, or running a hybrid business.